If life has been wearing you out, this episode, this session of Heart Talk is for you. If life has been wearing you out, this session of Heart Talk is for you. Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your Heart Talk, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Heart Talk. This is the time for us to come together. Let me look. Let me switch. I'm gonna get out of real estate mode and get into heart talk mode. This is the time for us to come together and do heart work together, where we confront matters of the heart, tell ourselves the truth so we can grow heart equity, which we define as personal, relational, and financial wealth that is cultivated through authentic living. I am really thankful to be here with you tonight. I am honored to be in this space, and I'm just really excited about the conversation. So, as we prepare to start Heart Talk at 8 p.m., I just wanted to jump on and just kind of talk with you guys about how have things been going? How are you? How is life treating you? How's the family? How's work? How's business? A lot of times we get so caught up in our own agendas that we don't take the time to really check in with each other. And like I tell you, we've been doing Heart Talk since September 1st of 2014. So we are 11 years, almost 11 and a half years, going on 12 years of doing this type of hard work, this type of weekly check-in where we come together and grow together. Because let's be honest, life is hard. It could get really tough. And so we want to be in a space where we are supporting one another, where we are loving on one another, and we just want to make sure that we're treating each other well. So, I just want to know how are you doing? How's the heart tribe, right? We'll get started here shortly, but I just decided let me go live and just see. I know some people are here. And if you're live on YouTube, welcome. The Heart Talk room is also live here in Zoom. If you want to get on camera and talk with me and interact with me, that's an option as well. And if you would like to find out how to do that, you can go to the website, adelaibrown.com. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see where you can register for Heart Talk, and it will send you the information for Heart Talk and you will be able to come in the room. So whether you're live in our YouTube room or you are in the Heart Talk Zoom room with me, welcome. We are thankful to have you. As I mentioned earlier, tonight we're talking about just are you tired, right? If life has been exhausting for you, this is the episode for us to talk. This is the time for us to chat. This is the time for us to kind of get to the bottom of um it's the time for us to get to the bottom of um this exhaustion, right? So I want to excuse me. Um I want to be ha- getting everything straight. I want us tonight, as we go through Heart Talk, I really want us to really think about and consider what is the most exhausting thing in your life right now? What is causing you the most exhaustion, frustration. It's just draining your energy. It's just like when you have a cell phone and you have apps running in the background. A lot of times people will say, I just charged my phone. And you have, you might be going through your day and you're like, look, I'm gonna charge up my phone. I know I got a lot going on today and I need my charge. But then you notice as you go a couple hours into the day, your phone is more dead than it typically is, than it should be because you took the time to charge it up. And I think a lot of us are feeling that. I actually heard someone use this example before, but I want to circle back to it. I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember her name, but I want to credit her. And I believe that many of us are living our lives just like we do our cell phones. So you have what's in front of you, that's the front screen, that's what you're looking at. But you don't realize that there are other apps running in the background. Things that emails that you read, social media apps you might have been on, um, a blog you may have been reading. You might have been in your bank account, checking your bank balance. You may have been making a payment someplace. And all of these are tabs that are literally running. They're programs, systems running in the background of your life. And you wonder why you're so tired, you're so exhausted, you're so frustrated, right? And I really want you to think about your life right now and think about what are the tabs that are running in the background. What are the circumstances and the situations that are going on that are not necessarily right in front of you, but you know you need to deal with that situation. You know you need to confront it. You know you need to get to the bottom of it. You know these things, but you're not doing it, right? And I want to address that because I think a lot of times many of us, especially those of us that do hard work together, a lot of times we've landed in this space and we're on this journey of doing hard work because we were hurt, we were neglected, we were abandoned, we were abused. We found out that someone did not receive an intention that we had the way that we intended for them to. Our expectations were not met. And so now here we are, we're doing this work. And I applaud you because we are a part of less than 1% of the population that is actually doing the soul work, the heart work, where you are really working out your emotional issues, your mental issues, your spiritual issues, and really processing through them so that you can live a very comprehensive, whole, complete life. And a lot of times when we are doing that, we don't realize that there are worries and cares and concerns that we're not immediately or directly addressing, but they are draining the life from our battery. They are draining our peace. They are draining our joy. They are draining our ability to dream, to imagine, to get excited about things because this is running in the background. So tonight's hard talk is, are you tired? Right? Are you tired? Because a lot of times God cannot help us until we are tired. And I like to I've told this story before, but I want to tell it again. Years ago, my oldest son, he's 20 now, so this would have been about 10 years ago because he was about 9 or 10 years old when this happened. So we were preparing for Thanksgiving and we had gotten a recipe from my mother-in-law to make a pineapple upside down cake. And he thought the cake was so delicious. He wanted to make this cake. So we were planning to make this cake. And so I was teaching him how to bake and we got the box and we looked at the box and I had already gotten all the ingredients, but he was going to help me cook. So he's looking at the box and I'm like, okay, you got to get everything that the box says so that we can go ahead and make the cake. So he's like, okay, I need oil, I need water, I need eggs. And he was like, eggs? I don't like eggs. I don't want eggs. I don't eat eggs. Eggs are nasty. And I said, I know that. I said, but if you want this cake the way you want it to be, you're going to have to put the eggs in it. And he was like, kind of going back and forth with me about it because He's 9 years old and he does not like eggs. So he doesn't see the need to put the eggs in the batter. But I explained to him that even though you don't eat the eggs, you probably wouldn't eat this cake mix by itself. You wouldn't drink the vegetable oil by itself, right? You would drink the water, but even in this cake mix, there's like baking powder, salt, sugar, all these things that you probably wouldn't necessarily just eat by itself. But when you mix them together and put them in the right environment, then you get the outcome that you want. And so I was able to convince him. that we could use the eggs in the batter, and the cake ended up being delicious, and he was proud of himself. And to this day, he still talks about that cake, and he just swears he's, the best chef in the world, as a result of it. And he is a great chef. I love my Akio, and I just want to shout him out with that. But the reason why I tell his story is because he was 9 or 10 years old, and he trusted me enough as his mother, so he was willing to include the ingredients that he did not want. And I think that many of us adults, because we can make decisions on our own, we are a lot harder to convince that we need to include the ingredients that we don't necessarily want to use in order to get the outcome in life that we're trying to achieve. Because what I've found is many times we want to get this outcome. You have this expectation of this great relationship. You have this expectation of making this amount of money. You have this expectation that people should be loyal to you and keep it real with you and do all of these amazing things for you. But then you're not willing to put in the ingredients that may allow that to happen in your life. Maybe you're not willing to confront your bad attitude. Maybe you don't always tell the truth. Maybe you're not honest and loyal to people, but you want that in return. And so if you're going against the grain in life and you're not willing to put the ingredients in that need to go, then you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired. Or if you're overdoing it and putting more ingredients in and putting more things in than you need to do. That would be like him saying, well, mommy, you know what? I like Alfredo sauce. So can we add this to the cake as well? It's like, no, we like Alfredo, but that's not appropriate for baking this cake. But many times in life, just because we like something or just because we're accustomed to doing something, then we do the most. And then wonder why we're tired, wonder why we're frustrated, wonder why we're lost, wonder why we're confused, wonder why we don't have whatever it is that we're looking to get. Is this making sense? Y'all let me know. I'm looking in the chat. Shout out to everyone that's here. Thank y'all so much for doing this hard work with me and us growing together tonight. This is awesome. But I just want to make sure that we're tracking. If you guys can put it in the chat or just let me know if this is making sense. So we and the reason why I'm talking about ingredients, it's a reason, because I believe that one of the biggest ingredients to us truly being able to rest and be refreshed so that we can live life at the tempo and at the pace that God has created us to live our lives at, we need to learn how to be still. We need to learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. And sometimes walking by faith means doing nothing. Sometimes you have to learn. Some of us are willing to do things, but we're not willing to do the right things, i.e., you're willing to gather ingredients, but you don't always want to gather the ingredients that are going to get you the outcome, bake you the pineapple upside down cake that you want. You want the cake, but you're not really willing to put the ingredients in. You want the life, you want the income, you want the fulfillment in that type of relationship, but you're not willing to put the work in. You're not willing to slow down enough for God to talk to you about you. We can talk about how everybody else did you wrong and how everybody else messed you up and how everybody else didn't get things right for you. But in order for you to really get the outcome in life that you want, you got to be willing to sit still and listen to where you need to heal, where you need to improve, where you need to grow. And we don't live in a world that encourages that. The Bible tells us we must be in the world, but not of the world. So we live in a world that encourages us to go, 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 faster, faster, faster. You got to use AI so you can keep up. All of these things you're starting to hear people say, but then the seasons still change like they change, right? You still have to plant a seed, water it so it can grow, right? So we have this fight to go against the natural order of life, and many of us believe the lies, and we've gotten into that current and gotten into that flow and wonder why our lives are in such disarray because you're putting in the wrong ingredients and wonder why you're getting that outcome. So I'm saying if you're going to get the outcome that you want to get, then you want to make sure that you're putting in the right ingredients. So tonight, I believe the secret ingredient to us being able to rest and renew and refresh and reset and restore, be restored and restore ourselves is for us to be still. Be still and know. That's what the Bible tells us. Be still and know that I am God. And I'm going to read this because I really want to encourage you to read this on your own. I really want to encourage you to really sit with this and really you know see where this resonates in your soul and your spirit. I really want you to ask God, where are you telling me I need to be still? Where are you telling me I need to rest? Where are you telling me I need to know that you are God? Right? So I'm coming from Psalm 46 and 10. So we're going to do Psalm 46 and 10. That's where we're starting out. And the whole particular chapter is amazing. Like as you read it, I'm so encouraged. Like I feel like, you know what, God got my back. Like I can rest in him. And let me just go back. Had to grow up really fast. I was one of those kids, and I feel like a lot of people in my generation were raised like this, but nonetheless, I had to grow up really fast when I was younger, right? My mom was a single mom. She struggled with sickness and illness, and what it caused was it caused me to have to grow up fast, to be very independent, to have to figure out how to do things. 13, 14 years old, I really, really started like taking care of myself. My mom was there, but I started taking care of myself. I was, it, I grew up without my father in my life, so my story is like I love my mom and my mom, I knew my mom loved me, but I didn't feel safe with her. So the way that I found to armor myself and protect myself was by being smart, by being a good girl, by trying to get things right. So that sounds honorable and that sounds like a good thing to do, but the way that looks is you come across looking very competitive. You look like you're a go-getter, you're a perfectionist, right? These are all of the things that I've been called, the things I've been considered, and I never felt that way, but I can see how I came across that way because when you don't feel like you're good enough, when you have to grow up early and fast, you are very critical of yourself, especially when you grow up in environments where other people are dealing with the same thing. So they're very critical of you. They say things they think they're trying to help, but really it's just tearing down your self-esteem. So when I was growing up, I tried to armor myself with getting it right. We're trying to check off boxes. If this is what the world says you should do, you're smart. You should be a lawyer or a doctor. So I pursued law first. It was too boring for me. Then I went into medical, right? Then it's like, I had a baby young. So it's like you need to get married. You need to buy a house. You need to get a good career. You need to get your degree. So it's like do these things so that you can be good enough. And I tried all of those ingredients, right? I tried to put all of those ingredients to make this happy, perfect life. And what did I get? Misery, depression, sadness, frustration, jealousy, envy, because I didn't love myself right. And I kept going, 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 going. Excuse me. Going, going, going. And as I started to learn more about doing this heart work, what was happening was when I had my last child, I have four children, and when I had the baby, which was around 2012, I was exhausted. I wanted to rest with my baby. The thought of going back to work was just wearing me out. And I had gone back to work very early after all of my other children. I had my first child when I was a senior in high school. Second child, I went back to work at like 6 or 8 weeks or something like that. And it was like when, like, with this baby, I was just like, deep down inside, I didn't want to go back. I was even embarrassed to even say that because it's like black women are supposed to be strong and push through, and I'm supposed to be ambitious and all the things, but it wasn't working. I was so tired. And so the Lord started dealing with my heart. The Lord started exposing to me why I was doing what I was doing. And this has been a journey that I'm still on. He's still revealing, He's still unraveling, He's still teaching me things about me. And I say all of that to say I've been on this journey for a while, and where I am now, I'll say the last 5 or 6 months, I feel like I've had an even deeper healing and cleansing. What can I say? Getting a new ingredient list. There's a outcome I want in my life, right? I was going hard, trying to check off the boxes, achieve all these goals, get the house, get the car, get married, you know, get the second house, do this, do that. You can do all of those things, but if you're not happy, if you're not fulfilled, if you don't feel good about what you're doing, honestly, I don't care how good somebody tells you you're doing, you will never feel it until you address the voids and the insecurities and the doubts that are in you, in your heart. And it's even worse when people are praising you and celebrating you, but you feel empty inside and you feel lost inside. So like when we talk about being exhausted and tired, I know like some people, okay, yeah, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, but some people like you are really tired. You have really had enough. And I did. And I feel like I've had seasons and levels of experiencing, oh God, I'm tired, I gotta rest. Oh God, I'm tired, I gotta rest. And I'm gonna read the passage of scripture um that I'm referencing, but I'm bringing this up because I really feel like we gotta be in a space where we can tell ourselves the truth. And you won't be if your phone a lot of times if your phone has ever gone dead on you, like your phone notified you prior to dying, hey, we need to charge. Hey, we need to charge. Hey, we need to charge. And a lot of us, if we be honest, your heart has been trying to notify you for a long time. Hey, we need to charge. Hey, we need to charge. Hey, we need to charge, and you're ignoring it. And you wonder why it feels like no matter how much you try, it's never enough. No matter what you do, you still feel this level of exhaustion. It's time to change the ingredients. And so this scripture, I believe this is the ingredient that you need to incorporate in your life in this season if you're going to really get the outcome that you want to get, right? And it says, Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world. Verse 11 says, the Lord of heaven's armies are here among us. The God of Israel is our fortress. Now, there are different um, translations, and they all, I think, are just amazing. Um, the Amplified version says, let be and be still and know, recognize and understand that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, our high tower and stronghold. Selah. Pause and calmly think of that. See, a lot of us got to be honest with how we feel with God about the times that He didn't show up when we felt like we put the ingredients in and we did what he told us but didn't get the outcome, we got to be honest about how disappointed we are. Because as I read through Psalm 46, I was just so reminded of how much God fights for us, how much he protects us, how much he loves us. Even the different references, it's like Elohim, and then it's like Yahweh. It's like, he's going from like this personal reverence to how he feels about us and then how he protects us, like the God of all gods, the Lord of all lords, and then he's like the God of all armies, and like he protect. This is the God who's telling you to be still, right? And when we look at the definition of still, when we look at the origin of that word where that particular passage comes from, I want to read that to you. The word still is, and I might not pronounce it right, but in Hebrew it's Rapha, and it says a primitive root. Now listen to this because this was very profound to me. He says, "Be still and know that I am God." I read the Amplified version. Now, when you read what the word still translates to and the different words that you can use interchangeably, it says, and remember, the Amplified said, "Let be and be still," right? It says a primitive root to slacken in many applications, literally or figuratively. When I grew up, people, you don't need to be slack. Don't be slacking in what you're doing. You need to stay focused. You need to stay on it. Be still means to slacken, abate, to cease, consume, to draw toward evening, to fail, be faint, be feeble, forsake, idle, leave, let alone, go down, be slack, stay, be still, be slothful. Get this, be weak. We don't want to be weak. We don't want to be seen as weak. But this translation is saying be still. Now, when you go deeper into the translation, and another in the other form that still stands for means to mend. That is figure by stitching. That is figuratively to cure, to heal, physician, repair, thoroughly make whole. So when you're still, when you cease, when you rest, when you find yourself in a weak state, when you slacken, you're also able to be mended, to be cured, to be healed. See, the reason why a lot of us aren't getting the outcomes we're doing that we want is because we're doing too much. We are doing the most. And it is time for you to fall back. You're trying to be there for everybody. You're trying to be all things for everybody. I talked a couple weeks back about overcompensating. Stop trying to make up for the people that didn't show up, the people who still aren't showing up, the people who you signed up with, but they reneged on their part of the deal. Listen, trust God, rest, be weak, cease, fall back, allow the Lord to fight your battles. This is an ingredient many of us don't want to put in because it's scary. We tend to think we so strong, we so big, we so bad, and we can just figure it all out. Not the case. And the Lord is really wanting us to rest in him. He is wanting us to seek him. He is wanting us to trust him. He is wanting us to know that we don't ever have to worry. And I'm telling you, it's been hard. I've had some days I told God, look, I am just sick of this. I'm serving you. Life is hard. And it seemed like it just got worse, and you want me to show up, and I'm trying to do the right thing by people. I'm trying to treat people right and all of these things. And I see a lot of people who don't seem like they're doing these things and they just seem like their life is just perfect. And the Lord reminded me, how dare you compare yourself to somebody else when you are fearfully and wonderfully made? I made you unique. This is why we got to read the Bible for ourselves because we will get caught up and distracted with the ingredients that other people are using and don't realize we're not looking for the same outcome. We're not trying to make the same entree or the same dessert. They're trying to make something else. And what you're trying to make the Lord is delightful, it's delicious, it's sustaining, it's nutritious. So it's going to take more work. It's going to take you to be still and listen. So the last couple months, the Lord, I can tell you, my heart was hard. I felt like I had to be independent. I never, since my granddaddy died, I never felt like I could really trust anybody. I'm talking my parents been around, I've been in relationships, I've been married, but it was like when my granddaddy died, I just felt like, oh my gosh, nobody gonna ever love me or protect me or care for me. And the enemy exploited that at 8 years old. The devil didn't care that I didn't know what I was saying, didn't know what I was thinking. He used that against me. All my life I have lived, like Miss Sophia said, all my life I had to fight. You don't have to, but if that's what you believe, you live like that. And that's exhausting. So I came tonight to tell you to be still, to rest, to cease, to be slack, to be weak, slothful. Because in that, the Lord can speak to you and talk to you. Like a lot of people want to get better. I want to live my life purpose. I want to do these amazing things. I just want to feel better. I just want to have more confidence. Be still. Rest in the Lord. A lot of us are too busy for our own good. And I know I was very guilty of that. But I felt like I had to do to overcompensate for how insecure I was. I feel like I'm doing all this work and I'm still not getting the outcome. Back to ingredients. And the Lord is like, no, I want you to focus on me. I want you to trust in me. It's not that what you're not doing isn't good enough. Keep nurturing. Luke chapter 8 talks about when you endure for a while, you will reap a great harvest after a while. You got to take care of those crops. You got to nurture. You got to pull up the weeds. You got to water it. You got to make sure the sunlight is getting where it needs to go. The ingredients have to be right. And a lot of us, I feel like right now you thought you had to go take another class, go get certified in something, go, take up more hours at work. No, the Lord is saying, rest in me, be still and know that I am God, that I am sovereign, that I rule, that I reign, that I am your father, that you are dearly loved. Some of us haven't felt that love of a father, and so when you limit God, because even though your daddy might have been good to you, but never, no daddy can be as good as God can be to us. And so for some of us there's a disconnect. What I'm saying to you is you matter, you're worth it, and you need to rest. Resting is when you heal. Resting is when you're mended. It's when you get the solution. You can get the resolution. Be still and know. Cease. Be weak. The Lord is saying, you don't even have all that it takes to fight against what you're up against. So if you can get out the way, I can handle the situation for you. But you got to trust in me. So from September to now, for me, it has been about walking by faith. And it hasn't been so much faith for God to so much fix things, but it's been the faith for me to literally delight in the Lord, to trust that his favor surrounds me like a shield, to trust that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. And what does it look like if I literally live like that every day? My whole tempo of my life has changed. I had to ask myself, was I being fake before? And the Lord was like, no, this is what growth looks like. You're learning more. You're being more exposed to who you are in me. You're learning to rest in me. I watch how people will shame me or shame others for being still. People will shame you when you got things going on in your life and they think you should be doing more than what you're doing. Maybe you prayed and asked God, Lord, how can we fix it? And the Lord said, rest, be still, and know. Don't. I know you up against a financial burden, but I don't need you to work extra hours. Trust me to provide. I know you got all kind of things going on in your health, but I don't need you to go get another doctor or take more medicine. Trust me. Or I need you to go see somebody else because I'm a give you relief through that person. You just gotta learn how to lean into the Lord. It's not so much about what it is that you're doing, it's the heart behind it. And when you get still and you really start to be still and know, you move differently. You're not as anxious as you normally would be. You have more confidence because you don't have to know how it's going to work out. You just know the Lord is going to work it out. My team and I have been experiencing this for a while now, and I've been living this in my life. And I can honestly say, I've been praying for God to change the situation. And what God has done is change me in the situation. And therefore, the situation is changing. But I can see a noticeable difference in my attitude and my expectations. I can see it and I can feel it. And it is all a result of me learning to practice what I'm reading to you right now. I'm not going to ask you to try, listen, I'm not going to ask you to try something I haven't tried or am, in the process of doing. Any comments or questions? Anyone want to share anything um in YouTube, live in YouTube, in our Heart Talk Zoom room? I want to hear from you guys. Is this making sense? Is this helping you? I definitely want to hear from you regarding that as well. So when we talk about being still and knowing, you can't be still and know if you don't know who God is. Now, that's the second part of it. In this season of our lives, we are tired because we have allowed all these other things and people to be God in our life. They have become idols that we're more concerned about keeping our kids comfortable. We're more concerned about keeping up with the latest technology. We're more concerned about making sure we're with the latest fashion, and we're not keeping up with the scripture. We're not renewing our mind with the word of God. And this is something I'm working on too. I can get much better at my Bible reading and my quiet and alone time with God, so that I'm not sitting up here like I just got it all together and y'all need to get it right. No. This is something we're all working on together. That's why we do Heart Talk, because we grow and heal together. But if you're going to be still and know that he is God, he said, I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted among the earth. He talked about being the Lord of hosts and the God of Jacob. But if you don't understand what it is about being the God of Jacob and the Lord of hosts, then what does that mean to you? And a lot of us got our mama faith or our grandmama faith or our granddaddy faith or our daddy faith. But it is time for you to strengthen your faith yourself. And you also got to be willing to let go of some of these religious ideas and beliefs that are lies that are limiting your relationship with God. Religion comes as a result of relationship. I do Heart Talk religiously because of the relationship I have with Christ, because of what Heart Talk means to me. To be honest with you, I would do this and talk like this whether somebody is here live or not. You know why? Because I need this. The Lord heals me and talks to me when I do this. I go back and listen and grow from this. But this is something that the Lord has given me and told me to do. So I do it religiously out of relationship. But a lot of us are religious and wonder why we struggle with relationship. Why you feel distant from God and you don't feel like he's there for you and not showing up for you. Because a lot of times you worshiping some other deity through your religious acts and behavior. And it might not be the Ruach HaKodesh. It might not be Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. It might be something else that just make you feel all warm and fuzzy. But how would we know? We got to read the word for ourselves. And listen, we have so much good technology now. If you don't want to sit down and read, you can listen. You can listen to the scripture. The Bible app, different apps online and on your phone will read the word to you. But the Lord is saying, if you're going to rest up and have the energy to keep going on the journey ahead. When you study that passage and you see it says, be still and know. And then for me, these two scriptures go together. So I'm talking about getting to know him, because if you're gonna be still and know, you need to know what you're knowing. Be still and know that I am God. And so the other passage that I feel like really correlates with this really well for me is Psalm 86 and 10. And that's another thing. These two scriptures for me just touch my heart, because I feel like in my own life years ago, I read them and I saw such a correlation between Psalm 46 and 10 and Psalm 86 and 10. And for me, it just was about I can be still and know because you are God and you do wondrous things. You are God alone. So if I can be still and know, because if I know how great you are, then I can be still and trust you. I can trust you in this uncertain time. I can trust you in this frustrating time. I can trust you in this confusing time. I can trust you in this horrible time. When I found my mom and dad, oh God, when I realized my mom was dead, oh God, I was shocked at the way I went into worship. This is where I knew that my relationship with God, I realized myself. Because sometimes the devil will make you think you don't love the Lord and you this and you that, because he'll make you so aware of your sin. But I was in such a, I mean, when it set into me that she's dead, she's not coming back, I just started praising the Lord. And it shocked me. It shocked me. Because after that, I was screaming and all the things. But initially, it was like once I realized what was happening, it literally was like that praise anchored my sanity. All I knew to ground my mind, my heart, my soul, I had to, oh God, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I just, oh God, it just was, oh, because I reflected on that because I thought about how did I get through? How am I still getting through this? See, some of y'all are very insensitive. And I know a lot of us are very insensitive because that's how we survive. It's hard for people, many of us, to slow down and really think about how hard life has been. That's why we try to keep going, 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 going. Always doing, 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 doing. Even the self-care is busy work. But I had to sit down and reflect of how the Lord got me out of that because I knew I was one foot in, one foot out. My mind could have been gone. I could have been dead. I could have been taken by the grief. But I had this to stand on. Psalm 86 and 10 says, I'm going to read a couple versions, and this is King James. It says, for thou art great and dost wondrous things. Thou art God alone. Thou art great and does wondrous things. Thou art God alone. And then the one right after it says, teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear your name. Because when we have a divided heart, we fear the Lord and other things. That's why the Bible says you can't serve two masters. And so if you read Psalm 86:10, I mean Psalm 86 and Psalm 46, it talks about how sovereign God is, how great God is, and all the amazing things he does, and how all the nations worship him, and there are no gods like him, and all the things. So if you really embrace that, then you can be still despite what's happening, despite the bill collectors calling, despite the divorce papers there, despite the stage 4 diagnosis, despite the bondsman not wanting to bond your loved one, whatever the thing might be, the business in the red, whatever it is. Life falling apart. You've been no contact with your parents for 3 years now, and you miss them, or it just feels like everything is falling apart. Listen, be still and know that I am God. For thou art great, and thou dost wondrous things. You are God alone. If I know you're great, and I know you alone are God, and you do wonderful things, then I can be still and know. I can trust you in my circumstance. I can rest. I can be weak. I can be slack. I can be misunderstood. That's one. Others could be disappointed. They can misunderstand me. It'll be okay. I am being still right now. It doesn't have to make sense to you. I am being still right now. I wasn't put on this earth to cater to you. I am being still right now. I don't have to make anybody believe anything. I am being still right now. I don't have to make my children think something that really isn't it. I am being still right now. I don't care what people think about my life and my relationship. I am being still right now. I'm trusting the Lord with all my heart. And I'm going to lean not on my own understanding. I'm going to seek his will in all I do so he can direct my path. This is why we got to read the word so we can have it when we need it. Another version of Psalm 86:10 says, "For you are great and perform wonderful deeds. You are God alone." Tree of Life version, which is a more like Jewish based version that's supposed to be aligned with the original transcripts. For you are great and do wonders. You alone are God. So when we think about being still and knowing, we got to be willing to be intimate and get to know the God that is calling us to be still. The same God that says in Psalm 139 that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that he carefully knit you in your mother's womb. Before you even came here, he knew you. Some of us got to learn to humble ourselves. We are too prideful. We have too much ego. And I've heard ego as an acronym for edge God out. You're edging God out with your pride. You don't want to ask for help. You don't want to slow down. You're so worried about how things might look if it starts to, if people could see the shatter. You can't control the shatter. It's already shattered. Let the chips fall where they may. Are you tired? Are you exhausted? Are you ready for something different? And if you are, I believe it starts with being still and knowing that he is God and he does wondrous things and he is God alone. And when you realize that, you can rest. You can realize he's going to fight your battles. You can realize that he's there for you. And like I said, I am partaking in this meal actively right now. I was just exhausted 30 plus years of trying to take care of myself and do it, having to grow up fast and then becoming a mother very young. So I've just been just conditioned to do the most and overcompensate and just wear myself out. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. My body said we can't do it anymore. My mind said we can't do it anymore. And the Lord said, I never asked you to do it. I just had to wait until you were worn out with it. So maybe right now in your life you are tired and everything just seems like it's too much. Maybe consider this. Is it time to let some things go? Is it time to let some people go? Maybe it is. But before you do any of that, be still and know. Take some time to read your Bible, 10, 15 minutes every day. Take some quiet time after you read to just sit there and listen. We live in such a demanding world that people think it's crazy for you to just put your phone down and put it away for 30 minutes to an hour and just do something without it. But I encourage you to start doing it. Be still, disconnect, slacken your grip on life and trust God. And if you have an issue with Him, this is the time to reconnect. Tell God how you feel. I always tell my clients, I advise people to do this all the time, and I encourage you get a journal and write. Just heart dump. Just write how you feeling. Write what's been exhausting you. Why you feel like you can't let it go. What your fears are with being still. Why being still is so hard for you. Write about it and allow the Lord to minister to you. Allow the Lord to talk to you. Allow the Lord to teach you so that you can grow and so that you can learn and so that you're not broken, but because you're so busy, you don't have the time to explore all of who you are. So when we get still and we slow down, we get exposed to ourselves. our greatness, our beauty, our gifts, our purpose in ways that we could never imagine, ways that we could never experience on the run. So let's use some new ingredients so that we can get the outcome that we've been looking to get. Okay? Y'all think we could do that? Anybody have any comments or questions? Anyone want to share in our Zoom room live and in our YouTube room? Just check it in. Well, I thank you guys so much for being here. Um, and I just want you to really sit down and evaluate your life. What's draining you? Why are you so tired? And what is so scary about being still? Those are some good questions to get started with in your journaling time. Do me a favor, if this helped you, please share this session with others. You can share the website, adelaibrown.com, and you can share our link tree, the Heart Connections, link tree / the Heart Connections. Um, you can follow us at all of these links. The email, we got a new email. I got to update that. But you can go to the link tree, the Heart Connections, or go to the the website, adelaibrown.com, and you can get on the list for notifications. Um, I encourage you to share this message with anyone that you think could benefit from it. Because friends don't let friends do hard work alone, right? We want to invite everyone into the work, even though we know that people heal and do their work at their own pace. We can all be on this journey together, right? Remember that we do community prayer. We have a refresh prayer. I call it our refresh prayer garden every Wednesday at 5 a.m. You can sign up for that on the website as well. And then we do Heart Talk every first and third Tuesday of the month. So I'm so excited that you guys were here tonight. I hope that this was a blessing to you. Um, I really am committed to this work because I truly believe that we need to do more of this so we can start to see our world more healthy, more whole, more healed. You deserve it. I deserve it. We all deserve it together. And I'm just honored to still be doing this since 2014, September 1, 2014. It's just a blessing, and it's even more of a blessing to be doing this with you guys. So I love y'all. Check out the website in the link tree. I have books and resources there to help you wherever you are in your journey. If you like to talk to me about how we can work together in growing heart equity, you can sign up for a free discovery consultation on the website as well. I'm just really excited about us growing heart equity together, and we're going to continue addressing topics that are important to us. I see a lot of people exhausted and tired, so I wanted to talk about that. But if you have a topic you want to talk about, leave it in the comments, message below, shoot us a DM, or comment on any of our videos. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll start talking more about it because we want to make sure that these sessions are helpful and addressing the needs of our community. All right. So just wanted to make sure we put that out there because we love you guys very much. Um, and I think that's it for tonight. So thank y'all for being here. Um, I'm Adelai Brown, your heart coach. Remember, when you heal your heart, you transform your life and you transform the world. So let's keep doing this work, y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all on, will that be March the 3rd? Good night.